I think it's important to reason from first principles rather than by analogy. The normal way we conduct our lives is we reason by analogy. With analogy, we are doing this because it's like something else that was done, or it is like what other people are doing. With first principles, you boil things down to the most fundamental truths, and then reason up from there. It is possible for ordinary people to choose to be extraordinary. I think it would be great to be born on Earth and die on Mars, just hopefully not at the point of impact. Constantly seek criticism. A well-thought-out critique of whatever you're doing is as valuable as gold. I think it's very important to have a feedback loop, where you're constantly thinking about what you've done and how you could be doing it better. There's a tremendous bias against taking risks. Everyone is trying to optimize their ass covering. Don't delude yourself into thinking something's working when it's not, or you're gonna get fixated on a bad solution. It's okay to have your eggs in one basket as long as you control what happens to that basket. Being an entrepreneur is like eating glass and staring into the abyss of death. Brand is just a perception, and perception will match reality over time. Sometimes it will be ahead, other times it will be behind. But brand is simply a collective impression some have about a product. I always invest my own money in the companies that I create. I don't believe in the whole thing of just using other people's money. I don't think that's right. I'm not going to ask other people to invest in something if I'm not prepared to do so myself. It is a mistake to hire huge numbers of people to get a complicated job done. Numbers will never compensate for talent in getting the right answer. Two people who don't know something or know better than one will tend to slow down progress and will make the task incredibly expensive. I think we have a duty to maintain the light of consciousness to make sure it continues into the future. I think we have a duty to maintain the light of consciousness to make sure it continues into the future. Starting and growing a business is as much about the innovation, drive, and determination of the people behind it as the product they sell. A company is a group organized to create a product or service, and it is only as good as its people and how excited they are about creating. I do want to recognize a ton of super talented people. I just happen to be the face of the companies. A company is a group organized to create a product or service, and it is only as good as its people and how excited they are about creating. I do want to recognize a ton of super talented people. I just happen to be the face of the companies. You have to say, well, why did it succeed where others did not? People work better when they know what the goal is and why. It is important that people look forward to coming to work in the morning and enjoy working. Work like hell. I mean, you just have to put in 80 to 100-hour weeks every week. This improves the odds of success. If other people are putting in 40-hour work weeks and you're putting in 100-hour work weeks, then even if you're doing the same thing, You know that you will achieve in 4 months what it takes them a year to achieve. I say something, and then it usually happens. Maybe not on schedule, but it usually happens. I always have optimism, but I'm realistic. It was not with the expectation of great success that I started Tesla or SpaceX. It's just that I thought they were important enough to do anyway. I do think there is a lot of potential if you have a compelling product and people are willing to pay a premium for that. I think that is what Apple has shown. You can buy a much cheaper cell phone or laptop, but Apple's product is so much better than the alternative, and people are willing to pay that premium.